Hi, it's Parm King, the Dungeon Master for Legends of Barovia, a Curse of Strahd campaign with another Dungeon Master tip. Please subscribe to my channel to be updated on new Dungeon Master tips that you may find valuable as you play Dungeons & Dragons and use Foundry. Today I'm going to talk about random encounters and using Foundry's amazing table system. Now, typically random encounters to me are pretty boring. It's usually a 1d20 or a 1d100 table, and boom, you run into a wolf or a ghost. What I really wanted to do was create a nested table with all kinds of possible outcomes, rewards and risks, new encounters that involve role playing. And I wanted to create some uncertainty and some surprises and some incentive for my players, but also some excitement for me as a DM. I mean, if I know everything that's going to happen, well, for me, I want to give myself some entertainment and some excitement. What I'm going to show you today is a random road encounter with the nested tables, how to build those nested tables, and how it works, and some of my thoughts and philosophies on creating encounters. Now, this random road encounter can also be done for the night, for camping, in a village, even in a tavern. The same principles apply. You just have to figure out what you want to happen. Now, in my random road encounter for the day, I have what it's called the parent roll table. And I'm going to open that up right now, and we're going to go through a little bit about how these tables work. So here is my road day encounter. And let's talk a little bit first about the tables, how they work, some important factors about the tables before we delve into how I've built this. So first of all, you're going to label it road encounter day or whatever you want it to do. In my example, it's going to be the road encounter for the day. There's a little bit of flavor text in here. As you travel down the road, ... meaning these occurrences are going to happen. The next thing you'll see is roll table formula. Now this is interesting. You're going to write it in terms of dice, but the roll table formula is actually a random number generator. So you could write in 1d17. Now it won't roll the die. You won't see if you have like dice so nice there's no 1d17 die, but it'll still create a random number between 1 and 17. So don't get too caught up in the fact that it says it has to be a die. You'll see one of my tables is there's no die for it. It just says 1D like 57. So it works. Think of this as really a random number generator. The draw with replacement. This means if you draw it, you replace that item. If you draw from the table and you don't want it replaced, meaning that option is now gone from the table, you would click this off. So for instance, maybe you have something where every single item in a table is valuable, and once they take that item, you don't want it to be replaced in there. They can't roll for that again. The next thing is display roll to chat. I don't like them to see my die roll, and the only reason I don't want them to see my die roll is I'm not concerned about the result. I don't want them to see the type of die that I'm rolling, so they could probably figure out probabilities. So obviously if you're rolling a 20-sided die or a 10-sided die, they're going to be able to figure out the probability if they know what die it is. So on my big tables, I don't want them to know what the possible number of outcomes are, because there could be just 3, there could be 20, there could be 10. So I never click that. Let's go down to the table results below. The first thing is this button here. When you want to add something, you're going to click the plus button. What you'll have is, and I'll just do one really quick at the bottom and then delete it. So I hit plus here, and you'll notice at the bottom of the table, we'll look at this, it comes up with some menus here. So the first thing is if you want to just have text, and that means if you roll this number, text will just be displayed in the chat window. And I'm just going to open up the chat window here because we're going to be rolling. The next thing down is the entity. And when you're selecting an entity, think about an entity is one of these areas up here, whether it's going to be a scene or actors or items. An actor here or from the compodium, which we'll be doing. So you can pretty much have a result pop up here from any one of these think of these things as file cabinets, if you will, actors, items, the compodium, even the playlist, which I haven't played with playlists or macros, so I'm not too sure how those work. But I use actors, items, and role tables, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. The next thing is the compodium, and this is where you're going to be drawing from one of your compodium things here. I'm going to show you this as well. I'm going to use this extensively in my leather pouch items here. And then you have to make sure if you're going to be using a compodium or an actor in this case, you have to make sure this is case sensitive. Also, if there's any space or empty characters after it won't find it. And I'll show you how to do that and make that work really well for you. The next column over here is weight. You can have this thing weight more heavily to some result that you want, and it'll go in there and calculate it for you. I'm going to show you that in just a second. The next is the range of the die outcome. Do you want it just to be the result of a single outcome, like if you're rolling a 1d20 and if I roll a 1, this is what happens, or if I roll a 1 and a 2, this is what happens. So this is the range of the die roll, and then the obviously you can lock it and you can also delete it. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one that I've added, and I'm just going to show you how weight works. So let's say I wanted them to run into this town drunk more often than anything else, and I'm going to put this weight in as a 5. Now you're going to see at the top it's a 1d10. It's a 1 in 10 possibility outcome, the random number generator. I'm going to change this to 5. I'm going to click this scale up here, and this is going to calculate the possibilities. So now I have 5 possibilities. It's pushed the numbers down 10 through 13, and it's changed my roll to a 1d13. I'm going to change it back to 1. This is pretty helpful if you want to go ahead and change something in your die. Now I got to figure. I changed something in here, so you are approached by. I got to change that here. This is a 2 through a. This should be a 1 and a 1. Yeah, if you change something, it's going to change everything. So let me just fix this back really quick. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 through 5. So this should be 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Should be 5, 5. And this should be 6 through 10. So let me tell you why I set these like this. Sorry about that. That when I did the weighting, it kind of screwed everything up. And this is supposed to be 1d10 up here. Okay. Let me tell you one of the things, and I'm kind of an autodidact, I guess, mathematic kind of engineer in some respects from a previous life. But anyway, what I like to do is determine before I roll the dice what my expectations should be in a hypothesis. So it's a 1d10. If I roll a 1, one of the great things about these Foundry tables is that you can have 2 outcomes for a single roll, and you're going to see this right away. So if I roll a 1, I'm going to get this flavored text, you notice movement in the woods, and it's also going to go to another roll table called Beast, and it's going to determine a beast from that roll table. If I roll a 2, I'm going to get some flavored text 2 through 5, means you're approaching you is A or R, and if it's a 2, it's going to be a swarm of rats, 3, a town drunk, 4, a farmer, or 5, a villager male. But if I roll a 5, I'm also going to get this flavor text that says there are 3d4 hostile villagers, and they have someone tied up. And then if I roll a 6 through 10, it's going to go to another roll table, a subtable called Edge of the Road. So this is the parent table. It's going to create flavored text. It's going to look at other roll tables possible. It's going to create actors that we may run into. And so there's quite a few things this simple 1d10 roll table is going to do. Let's roll it once and see what happens. It's rolled a 9, and what it's done is it's gone to the Edge of the Road table and decided what happened from the edge of the road table, a completely separate table. In this case, you notice a leather pouch with a musical instrument, a flute in it. So what's important to me here, before we go any further, is the philosophy of creating the day roll encounter. I don't want it just to be an encounter with a creature. I want it a creature, they possibly find something, they possibly run into a character which you can have an NPC, for instance, a town drunk or a farmer. One of the things I put in here was a villager. There's 3 to 4 hostile villagers. They have somebody tied up. This creates a unique situation where my characters are going to have to interact with them. Perhaps because I'm playing Curse of Strahd, that person's tied up. Maybe it could be a witch, or maybe the town villagers think it's a vampire and they're going to take him to the gallows or burn him at the stake. You've created this unique kind of random encounter in which you're going to either have to role play or go into combat, or they're going to find something magical. So let's look at the subtables in which our parent table derives from. Let's look at the first one, which is beasts. So you notice if I roll a 1, it's going to go to the roll table beasts. So let's bring up the roll table beasts, and I'll show you how that one works. What I've done with my roll table beast is, and this is a day encounter, I only want to have beasts in the woods. You notice movement in the woods and one of the following beasts: a wolf, a dire wolf, black bear, brown bear, or giant boar. So this roll table is only going to roll for beasts. It's a 1d10 roll, actually it's kind of screwed up here. So let me fix that for you. So this should be a 1 and a 1. And the reason it's screwed up is because I did some weighting on this table as well earlier. That's the one thing you have to be careful. If you do some weighting, it's going to really change all your, this should be a 6, this should be a 4 and a 4. Hold on. 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. I don't usually use the weighting system because it messes up all your die. And this should be a 1d6 table. So sorry about that, but you can see what I did and how I had to fix it. What I did on this one was each single roll outcome has 2 results. One is what kind of creature they're going to run into, what kind of actor in this case, and the number of actors. And the reason I put the number of actors different is because of the strength of the beast. So what you want to think about is when you're having your party, your characters, how many are in your party, what's their level, you want to make sure that the encounter is going to match roughly the level. You want to make some of them a little bit stronger than your party where a retreat's an option. Maybe some of them are an easy encounter for them to deal with, and some are right in that range. And I like to mix it up quite a bit. Obviously, a pack of wolves is fairly easy to deal with, so it's a 2d6 plus 2. Dire wolf's a little stronger, so it's only a 1d4 plus 1. Same thing with black bear, brown bear, and giant boar. In fact, you don't even have to put a random. You can just put in a number in the giant boar. I just put in they run into 2 giant boar. Now, what's great about this table, even though I've nested it into my road encounter table over here, you can use this table by itself. Maybe they're just in the woods and you go, hey, they're going to run into a random beast. I just want to roll for my beast table. And let's go ahead and roll from the beast table. I'm going to clear this out and just roll from the beast table, and you can see how this works. So I'm rolling a 1d6. There's the die. 3 comes up, and I run into a dire wolf, 1d4. Now, you'll notice in the results I have entity and actor. I have my these creatures in my D&D Beyond importer. I've been importing from D&D Beyond import into actors. It could be from your Compodium, which are actual from a monsters table, but I put them in here in actors. Now, what's important in here, and I have beasts, is you make sure that you correctly write down the beast name. It is case sensitive. The easiest way to do this is open up the beast, copy the name of the beast, highlight it, Control-C, copy, and paste it in here. If you don't see the picture of the beast show up over here, you didn't type it in correctly. Okay, what's nice about this on the roll table is it's automatically going to pop up for me that encounter. I know it's going to be a dire wolf. I can see it here, and I can go ahead and roll a 1d4 plus 1 and determine that I've got 5 dire wolves. And now I can just take these and place them directly onto the map. And let's just do that. We'll just take, I think I can pull them right off of here and just pull them right into here. There he is. There's the dire wolf. And I can just pull some more in here, and here they are. They've run into 5 of them. And all of a sudden, you can just highlight all of these and just put them right into combat, right? Let's see. Did I do that? Well, there we go. Now they're all highlighted, and I can roll, and I can just say select combat, and guess what? We're all in the combat tracker, and you can roll for initiative, and there you go. Let me just stop this and empty this here, and we'll go back to the tables quickly. So that's the beast table, which is really easy to use. And again, you can use this table by itself, but I've nested it in to my road encounter table right here. So you notice in the woods, it's automatically, this is important, it's automatically from the road encounter table going to roll into the beast table. So you're automatically going to get the results of your beast here. Let's go on to the next one, which is the edge of the road. Now, this is one of my favorite tables because it's another nested table. It's a double nested table. And you can use this independently with your road encounter, or you can use it whenever you want to. What I wanted to do with the edge of the road encounter is, which is included in my road day encounter down here. If they roll a 6 through 10, it's going to roll from this edge of the road table. And I really like this edge of the road table because it's providing a reward, a potential reward for my players, something they're going to find, some loot, but it also incorporates a potential surprise attack. So let's look at the table itself and how I did the edge of the road. So an edge of the road is actually loot. They notice something on the edge of the road, but what do they notice? Okay, it's a 1d20 table, and you're going to notice here, if they roll a 1 through 5, they're going to be attacked. As you reach for this thing that you see on the edge of the road, as you reach for it, you're attacked by, and it's going to determine here, they're going to be attacked by a vine blight, which would be a 1. A number 2 would be a crawling claw. A number 3 would be a ghost. A number 4 would be a swarm of insects. And a number 5 would be a swarm of rats. So you're going to see here, this is important. The text, the flavored text will pop up on a roll of a 1 through a 5. And then each individual, number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, is the creature. So a 1 is a vine blight, a 2 is a crawling claw, a 3 is a ghost, a 4 is a swarm of insects, and a 5 is a swarm of rats. Now, if you wanted to, you could create a table called, surprise attack table and just put these creatures in here like I did at Beast Table. I didn't do that in this instance. You can do another nested table if you like, but I did do it in this instance. The next thing is you notice a leather pouch. This is going to happen on a roll of a 1 through 15. So in a roll of a 1 through 15, what's going to happen? Well, 1 through 5, they're going to get attacked. 1 through 15, they're going to get the leather pouch. So they're going to get the leather pouch no matter what on a roll through 1 through 15. But on a roll through 1 through 5, there's a possibility that they're also going to get attacked as they grab this leather pouch. The last thing I added into the edge of the road is the trinket table. So on a roll through 16 to 20, they're not going to be attacked by anything, and they're just going to find a random trinket. And I'll show you that table as well. So let's go ahead and roll this and see what happens. Let me go ahead and delete this here. Boom. And we're going to roll from the edge of the roll. Edge of the road. Edge of the roll. Road. Blah, blah. Here we go. We rolled a 12. And so a 12, let's see if the results fits within the hypothesis of our table. So a 12 would mean that they would find a leather pouch, and it's higher than a 1 through 5, so it's not going to create an encounter. Remember, they're only going to be surprise attack if they roll a 1 through 5. So you found a leather pouch. You notice a leather pouch with an emblem in it. So let's roll again, and then I'm going to go to the leather pouch, which I really love. Okay, what do we got? We rolled another leather pouch, and they notice a magnificent magnifying glass in it. Let's do it again and see if we get something different. No, we're just finding a leather pouch. Well, it's the highest probability. I want to get a creature 1 through 5. Oh, no, we're not. That's not one. That's a 13 again. Oh, here we go. We got a creature this time. So what we did here is we rolled a 5, and several things happened when we roll a 5, right? Because there's multiple results on the edge of the rolled table. Number one is they're going to get the text, the flavor text up here. As you reach for it, you're attacked by it. That pops up. The next text you're going to get is a 1 through 15 is you notice a pouch with. That's going to go to the roll table that has a mess kit. And a number 5 was also a swarm of rats. So they reach for a leather pouch. It's going to have a random item in it. And because they rolled a 5, they're being attacked by a swarm of rats. Let's go on to the leather pouch table. I'm going to put this over here. Now again, you can use this table on its own as they're marching down the road and maybe you just want them to spot something on the side of the road. You can use this table by itself, or you can embed it into your road encounter for the day, which I have embedded over here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to lay this on the top and we're going to open up the leather pouch. Now this table is really an important table and I love this table a lot. And to make this table, I'm going to show you how I made this table. We're going to make one together in here. And this is a table I'm going to recommend. Pour your favorite glass of drink. I drink Madeira. If you watch Madeira and Monsters, another video series that I like to do talking about a monster. Madeira is a fortified wine. So pour yourself a Madeira or a drink or a glass of water or coffee and enjoy building your leather pouch table. And why I say enjoy it, because what you want to do in your leather pouch is put some just common things that they would find in a leather pouch, but you want to sprinkle in a few magic items in there that you think will maybe be useful to your party in their adventure. Now, how do we do the leather pouch table? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select Compodium here. And when I select a Compodium, I'm going to do my D&D 5 items. So I'm going to open up my Compodium. I'm going to click on my D&D 5 items here, which will pop up. And there they are. And I'm going to put this right alongside of my leather pouch table. And I'm going to just start adding items in there. Now, what you need to think about when it's a leather pouch, so you're not going to be finding a battle axe in a leather pouch. You're going to be finding small little items in there. And some of the items you can see I've picked in there like a bag of beans, some ball bearings, a block of incense. But I put in a brooch of shielding too. So what you want to do is you don't want to load it up with lots of magic items, but sprinkle some of them in there. You know, they're going to get chalk, cooking utensils, dust of sneezing, emblem, whatever. Let's add one together and show you how I did that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the plus up here. And what that's going to do is down at the bottom, it's going to add a blank space. And now I'm going to make sure I select Compodium, my D&D 5e items. I've got my D&D 5 items up here. And let's go ahead and scroll down here and think about what we want to add into our leather pouch. Let's see here. What do I got? There's something I like. Basic poison. So let's open up basic poison. And we want to make sure that we spell this correctly. I'm a horrible speller. I love spell check. So to avoid any typing mistakes and making sure I've got the capital letters and space correctly, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to hit Control-C, close it. Oh, I already have basic poison. We'll just put another one in there anyway. Basic poison, I've just put that in there. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that the picture of the item shows up. So after you hit Enter and you go to another one, eventually this picture will show up. You can also hit to make sure it shows up, go in here and hit Add. Boom. And then when we scroll back down, you're going to see, I don't know why basic poison didn't show up. Let's delete this one and put something else in here. We're going to put, because I already have basic poison, let's put a bell in here. I don't know what they're going to do with a bell, but you find a small bell to ring. All right. We're going to copy and paste the bell. We're going to put it here which says undefined item. We're going to click on the next one. I'm just delete this number 56 out of here. And we're gonna hit. Did it add it in there? Oh, it's got the basic poison in there now. That's kind of funky dunky. There's the bell. Okay, I'm gonna add that in there, and now I should have the bell. So you have 55 items in here. You want to make sure your random table is going to be able to pick all of those up. So I hit 55 up here, and let's go ahead and roll from the table and see what we get. From our random leather pouch, we get a sprig of mistletoe. Let's roll again, see what we get. We're going to get a necklace of prayer beads. Now when you click on any of these things, which is really nice, is it's going to pop up the information, the text and the flavor text, everything you have right there. And let's see, yep, the bell is, let me see why the bell is not popping up. You know what works for me for whatever reason is I click this plus button, and I notice that when I do, I don't know why the bell is not popping up. It's popping up basic poison. Oh, there's the bell. So I got 2 basic poisons and a bell. All right, I can live with that if you can. Let's try again, because I like this. We're gonna roll and see what we get. What do we get? What do I get? I get a sprig of mistletoe again. It likes the mistletoe. Let's go again. And it's going to give me 51, a vial. So again, a couple of things in here. Make sure that you have the number of things here. I'm gonna have to put this to 55 now. You can make something more common again by using the weighting feature, or you can just type in the range for that. You know, if I want the bar of soap to come up more often than anything else, I can make this a roll of a random number between 40 and 50. And so bar of soap, probability-wise, will come up more often than anything else. I have a spell scroll in here, spyglass, stone of good luck, all kinds of things in here. Oh, I just rolled again. Figure of wonderful, wondrous power onyx dog. What is that? Let's click that. Oh, and they can, this onyx dog can become a mastiff for up to 6 hours. So what I like to do is put some kind of magical item, some interesting item that will help your player party in that particular adventure in the leather pouch. Again, it's going to be random. So this table, again, is nested. And I'll just put it on the screen so you can get an idea of the nest, how this whole nesting looks like, this tree, this kind of binomial or trinomial decision from the road encounter to the edge of the road, and then you have these other tables that are nested in. You have the beast table, you have the leather pouch table, and you have your trinket table, right? These are all nested inside your parent folder. So let's talk about the trinket option. So we've talked about the leather pouch with the items. We've talked about creating beasts with actors and some role and results of how many of them. The trinket table, if you have a Curse of Strahd, whether you've bought the book or whether you have it from D&D Beyond, in the appendix there is a trinket table. And this is all just text of just kind of weird and random trinkets that players will find. If we roll that, we can see the results from the trinket table. This is a 1d100 table. There's, I believe, 50 trinkets on here, and a small worn book of a child's nursery rhymes. So it's just kind of fun, little colorful things that they can find. If we look at our edge of the road encounter table, it goes to if they roll a 6 through 10, it goes to then it goes from the road encounter, it goes to the edge of the road encounter table, which is hidden back here. And if they roll a 16 through 20, they're going to get a random trinket. So what I wanted to do is I have that day encounter. It goes down into my a possibility is they run into some beasts, or they run into a drunk, or they run into some villagers, or it goes to my edge of the road encounter, which they're going to find something. And they're going to either find a leather pouch, they may or may not be attacked, or they're going to find a trinket. So hopefully this will explain a little bit about tables, how to create nested tables, and create something that's kind of colorful and exciting, giving your players not just the probability of running into a beast, but the probability of finding some loot, possibly a magical item, some villagers, an NPC type of an encounter, Have fun with these road encounters. Go ahead and make one for night, make one for day. You can make one if you're inside a crypt. You can make one inside of a village. You can do one in a tavern. You can do one for drunken results for a tavern brawl. I mean, your limitation is only up to your creative imagination, because Foundry has done an amazing job to create these really simple tables, to nest these tables together. I really hope you found this video on this valuable to you. If you have, please click the like button, please click subscribe, and I'll be with you shortly with another DM tip in using Foundry and make your encounters and your experience awesome. May all your rolls be critical, and this is Parm King for Dungeon Master for Legends of Barovia. Until next time, thank you.